Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Being undocumented is not a crime.
Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
It's a point I've been making a lot lately, especially as Trump and the Republicans continue vilifying immigrants in every way, shape, and form that they can.
You can't make a deal with these people. They're lunatics. They've gone crazy. They're crazed people. Trump derangement syndrome. There really is that disease.
The majority of Americans across the country, regardless of political party, know that immigrants from all over the world, Somalia, India, wherever they're from, Latin America, Africa, that immigrants have built this country and make this country what it is today.
Huh?
Psych! It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
State Senator Zaida Mohammed says these attacks won't stop with Somalis, and their contributions can't easily be erased.
We are in every industry, and Minnesota would not be able to survive nor thrive without the Somali community here.
What we have here in the United States, the democracy that we have, how can you help us, be a better country and build back what we used to have back in long time ago? So hopefully we will be able to help our country, our former country, Somalia.
You're not even from here. You're not even from this country.
As Somalis, we are never intimidated, and we're never going to feel like our esteem or confidence is shaken by a bigoted fool, making a mockery of the White House, of our nation, and of the presidency.
You're fired. Get out of here.
I just got done listening to Ilhan Omar talk about how horrible and terrible and dirty and everything else that this country is. Denigrating this country, denigrating half of the people in it. This country has been very kind, benevolent, and gracious to her and countless others. We gave her asylum. We gave her a place to live. We gave her an education. We gave her a pathway to become a sitting United States congressman. But to me, it goes deeper than that. See, I'm an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. I was 22 years old when those planes flew into those buildings, and me and thousands of other young men across this country answered the call to go over there and combat this evil that was on our shores, that had finally hit us. And what we were told over and over again is that we go over there and we fight them over there, we will not have to fight them here. And now here we are. We're retired. We're out. We're ready to start pursuing a life of our own. And what does this country do to that enemy that we went over there and we fought to keep over there because that's what we were told? We kissed our families goodbye. I watched my wife cry while I got on that bus to go to the airport or go to the airfield. I watched my son cry because he didn't know if or when he was going to see me again. And then I come home. I've been retired for 8 years. And I come home, and what are we seeing? We're seeing entire communities being taken over by the very people that we fought to keep off of our shores. Dearborn Mission is completely freaking taken over. Now we have mosques in Minnesota, Texas, Missouri, all over the country, promoting Sharia law. Do we really have to tell people that Sharia law is incompatible with the United States Constitution? We were told that if we fought them over there, we would not have to fight them here. But what do we have? What did you do? You elected it mayor of New York. You gave it Senate seats in Minnesota. Now I want you to turn around. I want you to find an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran somewhere around you, and I want you to look them in the eye and tell them why they should not feel betrayed. Do it. I dare you.
You guys want to play a fun little game of Connect the Dots with me? This is going to be a good one. So we've got all this news and information about this massive fraud scheme that's coming out of Minneapolis in the Somali community. So I was like, I'm very curious if we could figure out what percentage of that fraud in that Somali community that I think is now totaled somewhere around $2 billion over 4 or 5 years that is stolen from the Minnesota taxpayer. A lot of it shipped overseas to Somalia, where Al-Shabaab, a terrorist group offshoot of Al-Qaeda, was taking their cut. By the way, Minnesota taxpayer is the largest funder of Al-Shabaab. And, by the way, Somalia. Anyway, I thought it'd be interesting to try to figure out what percentage of the fraudsters that have already been identified, or the organizations, came out of Ilhan Omar's congressional district. Do you know what I found? Nearly 95 to 100% of the fraud came from people from her congressional district. That is crazy. The schemes were geographically concentrated in Minneapolis proper, not suburban or rural areas outside the district. All named defendants in federal indictments that list Minneapolis addresses per the court documents. This community is the only reason she's in office. Literally the only reason. And frankly, the only reason that the mayor there is in office as well. But I went a little bit further because I'm like, that's really weird. Interesting. Do you know what Ilhan Omar's net worth was when she joined Congress in 2018, when she took office? Somewhere about $45,000 net worth. And she had, about $32,000 in debt. That's not very much. Okay, so that's some open secrets. About $45,000 net worth when she took office in 2018. Do you know what it is now? So Ilhan Omar, when she takes office in 2018, is about $45,000 in debt. If we just account for the midpoints. Do you know what her net worth is now? Somewhere between $6 million and $30 million. We'll call $18 million the midpoint. Do you know what the increase in net worth between that point and now is? It's over 40,000% increase. But what she says here is that almost all of that net worth comes from the business that her husband started in 2022. Because they got married in 2020. She joined Congress 2018, marries this dude. This dude starts a global venture capital firm called Rose Lake Capital. And you know what they do? Do you know where almost all of their funding comes from? The firm promotes impact at scale in regions including Africa, where it has on-the-ground experience, and they're funded from USAID. That's right. Yeah, they're funded from USAID. Yeah, so their LinkedIn activities references webinars on USAID-related activities. That's how you get rich in Congress. That's it. Yeah, just have your husband or wife start an NGO or a venture capital firm, soak up USAID funding, and ta-da, you get 40,000% increase in growth in your net worth in 6 years. Amazing, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. The liberals going absolutely crazy that Trump made the garbage comment. Watch this.
President Trump has been singling out Somalis for years, and during a cabinet meeting yesterday, he made a xenophobic attack against Somalis in the United States.
No human being is garbage. And that kind of language is dangerous. It's not just the politics. It's dangerous. It puts people's lives in danger.
Biden called the whole Republican Party garbage, one. And two, you have the Democrats that are literally wishing that Trump would die, calling him everything. But he says piggy or garbage, and boy, oh boy, take him out.
Again, they're just overreacting, but it is not racist or bigoted to say that not all immigrants to America are created equally. At large, the Somalian immigrant community in America is underperforming compared to other immigrants. Only 16% of the Somalian community in America has a bachelor's degree. The household median income is less than half of the United States income. As we see in Minnesota and Minneapolis, they're just not assimilating the same ways. And that's not saying that every individual is garbage, but us Americans have a right to want immigrants to participate in our shared social fabric. And Trump has every right to pursue that.
I think that America should not be a dumping ground, Trace, for people that come here with bad intentions, that don't share our values and don't want to assimilate. You know, no other nation in the history of Earth has been more generous with immigration. Immigrants come here every single day. But I think what Donald Trump is trying to point out is that generosity should not extend to people that hate this country and don't want to assimilate. So Americans and Donald Trump, it's not immigration that we're rejecting. It's the refusal to assimilate. It's the entitlement. It's the idea that we need to apologize for expecting foreigners that are coming into this country to actually love this country and want to be here.
Here's one of the things that surprised me, Deborah. You know, you listen to some of these Democrats and you're talking about this whole battle against drugs and narco trafficking and so on and so forth. And they really are. This is kind of how it's an illustration. We're about to play this soundbite of how far off they are when it comes to going after and battling drugs. Watch this.
You know, I live in a political world, and a lot of folks, if you just tell them, you know, the president is killing narco terrorists in the Caribbean, you know, reasonably enough, they'll say, you know, a lot of Americans die because of overdoses. And, you know, they might say, They might say, okay, I'm supportive of that, right? But what you need to do is you need to see two terrified men clinging to the wreckage of a ship. And these men are not, this is not Pablo Escobar out there on a boat. These are guys that probably didn't have a lot of economic opportunity, made a terrible decision to participate in the drug trade.
We do not care.
People on a boat in the middle of the Caribbean carrying cocaine are not a direct threat to the lives of our service members or Americans.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
There is no such thing as a narco-terrorist. There are very, very bad narcotics people, cartels, etc., but they're desperate to make this look like it's ISIS or Al-Qaeda.
It's amazing because, listen, I have covered the cartels my entire career. They are vicious. They would literally destroy ISIS and Al-Qaeda. It's unbelievable. I mean, you see these organizations and they're like, oh, they're just people, moving drugs and pot around here and there. Not true.
Just look at the numbers. Last year, 100,000 Americans died from drug overdose. Under the Biden administration, over 400,000 Americans. It's very sad that most Americans know somebody personally who has died from a drug overdose. So in my opinion, even one American life that could be saved by attacking these narco-terrorists, what's a better word? Would they be less offended if we said drug traffickers? Anybody illegally bringing drugs into this country that will kill Americans, I have no problem going after them. And I think that's American security. And to say that that doesn't pose any threat to Americans is just a complete lie. It is a complete lie. We need to put Americans first. We need to protect our citizens of this country and stop the flow of illegal drugs through our border. And that's what Trump's doing by securing the border and taking out these narco-terrorists.
And when you're terrorizing Americans, it's fair to call you a terrorist.
I like to MAGA, MAGA. I like to MAGA, MAGA. I like to MAGA, MAGA. I like to MAGA. I like to MAGA, MAGA. I like to MAGA, MAGA. I like to MAGA, MAGA. I like to MAGA.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, ring that notification bell so you know every time I post a new video. If you like what I'm doing over here, you want to show a little extra love and support, be sure to check out our website, crownandthread.com. That's where you can grab all the awesome clothes you see me wearing in all of my videos, like this one. It says, he conquered as the lamb, returns as the lion. You know, the Lion of Judah, that would be King Jesus. And these are all handmade by my beautiful wife. We got tons of different designs to choose from, Christian, conservative, sizes ranging from itty bitty extra small to big and hefty 5X for my folks that like to eat. Bunch of different colors. It's all gooder than chicken to me. Of course, I'm biased though, but I'm sure we've got something that you look great rocking or that'll make an awesome gift for someone you love. We also sell some pretty sweet woodworking pieces made by my father-in-law, crosses, hearts, charcuterie boards. Definitely go check those out as well. If you'd like to support in other ways, you can buy me a coffee, hit that thanks button. You can become a member of the Gibson family right here on YouTube. All those links are down below in the description section. Listen, by no means do you have to do any of that stuff. Just showing up and watching my freckle face for a few minutes, that means the world to me, seriously. And I love y'all. I truly can't thank you enough for rocking with me throughout the years. Whether you've been here since I started back in 2017 when I was doing music reactions, or you're a recent subscriber, by the grace of God through my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and with y'all's support, my life couldn't be any better. Seriously. So thank you. And until next time, I'll be praying for you. Godspeed. I'm gone.